ActionSA marked its 5th anniversary this weekend. Now, the party launched in August of 2020. This was under lockdown. It now has 6 members of parliament, more than 140 councillors, and representation across several provinces. In an interview with SABC News political reporter Natasha Phiri, ActionSA leader Herman Mashaba reflects on the party's growth, its progress over political pacts, as well as preparations for the 2026 local government elections.
Joined by the president of ActionSA, Mr. Herman Mashaba. Now, you would know that it's now 5 years since the party was actually, founded, and we're seated with the president, Mr. Herman Mashaba, just to reflect on the 5 years of the party. You would know that in last year's elections, they actually gained 6 seats in parliament. They had 1.2% the share of the votes, which translated into over 400,000 votes. In 2021, the 2021 elections, they gained about 91 seats in 6 municipalities. And joining us now, like I said, is Mr. Herman Mashaba. Thank you so much for joining us at SABC News. So I think let's just get straight into it because of a lack of time. 5 years since the party was actually formed on the 29th of August. And Mr. Mashaba, let's reflect over those 5 years. Over those 5 years, you've contested the local government elections. You've contested the elections last year. They have been the good, the bad. Please reflect, on that.
Yeah, well, I think, everything in life, I'm a very strong believer it's got its own time. The party launched on the 29th of August 2020 and immediately had to really put the measures in place to prepare for the 2021 local government elections. For the first time, my view at the time was to only contest the 3 metros in Gauteng, that is Johannesburg, Tshwane and Ekurhuleni. But obviously, because of inviting other people, we were convinced to contest the 3 municipalities in KZN, that's eThekwini, KwaDukuza and Newcastle. We were honestly astounded. We were surprised by the reception we received. It was really completely incredible. And I think I want South Africans actually to remember that 2 weeks or so before the elections, IEC refused to put our name. We contested as a logo during that time. And yes, let's focus now to the future. 2023, we had a very successful policy conference which you attended, where our policies honestly really resonated with South Africans. And then we started preparations for 2024 of the elections. We made mistakes then, if I must admit, but I think in reflection, it was a mistake, but it was actually how things actually work in life, because right now we're benefiting out of the results we achieved. I think the mistake I believe we made as a party was to overstretch ourselves to really go to all the provinces all at the same time. I think we really overstretched ourselves. But we ended up, Natasha, with 6 members of parliament. For the first time, a new political party at the time, 3.5 years old, we are now represented in the National Assembly. We are now represented in 3 provinces. Gauteng, where we've got 3 MPLs, and 1 in Northwest and 1 in Mpumalanga. But then, what happened immediately thereafter? I get a call from Dr. Takekana from Forum for Service Delivery. Says, Mr. Mashaba, can I see you? Accepted to see him. Came to my office and he says, look, you know what? We like what you're doing. As a smaller parties, we don't really believe we're going to really make an impact in the country. And we've identified you after divorcing yourselves from the DA, because
the Moonshot Pact.
Yeah, that Moonshot Pact cost us a DA.
And thank you for saying that, because I actually want to take you back to prior before the elections. I like the fact that you mentioned some of the mistakes that you had made as a party, overstretching yourself. But like you said, the Moonshot Pact, do you not think, or do you actually regret going into the Moonshot Pact? Because I remember on the floor of the Rock at the IEC, you and I had a conversation, and you know, you had said to me that had it not been for the Moonshot Pact, you probably would have performed better as ActionSA, apart from the MK also getting the votes that they got.
MK as well. When MK was launched, actually, honestly, undermined and underestimated the influence of Jacob Zuma. I said, no, this is not going to happen. Unfortunately, I did not realize how deep black voters are scared of DA. And our association with DA, they thought probably we're a DA light. And I've spoken to really thousands of people across the country. The reason why they did not really vote for us in 2024 was our relationship with the DA. In fact, Dr. Kekana himself said he wanted to have spoken to me before the elections to join ActionSA, but he was concerned about our relationship with the DA. So there's a reason why when I announced our removal of the DA from Tshwane, working with the ANC and EFF. That's what really then attracted ActionSA to him, and brought to us 36 councillors from Forum for Service Delivery. Overnight, ActionSA is now represented in the northwest in a big way. Just in the northwest, we've got 22 councillors, and there's a by-election in October in one of the municipalities where in one municipality we've got 5 councillors, and there's going to be a by-election. So yes, absolutely, the Moonshot Pact cost us. Do I regret it? At the time, to really be fair, Natasha, South Africans are looking for consolidation of political parties. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And we thought we were doing the right thing. Unfortunately, because of the double dealings of the DA, that's what personally I was uncomfortable with. I'm sure you know throughout the process, DA and I, we've always been really fighting because I did not really trust them. But obviously my party said, let's really give it a try. It cost us dearly, but at the end of the day, you know what? You wake up and move. Look at our influence in Parliament right now. Our caucus leader, Athol, and his team, Dr. Litlape, Lerato, Darylene, Alan Beasley, and Malebo, they are incredible. I mean, you know, when I gave them instruction, after we decided on the 6th, I said to them in front of everyone, I said, guys, 6 of you, go in boxes 60. And without any doubt, South Africans are actually feeling, even the ANC themselves, in the GNU, it's actually the feeling the pressure of ActionSA. But what is more exciting for me, and I feel personally proud, because I'm the one who engineered the removal of civilian against all odds, because we tried to engage the DA over time to say, we will give you, after the 2021 elections, we said, we will give you our votes, but we want service delivery in the townships and black areas. I've had to remember 3 years experience as a mayor of the city of Johannesburg with the DA. And we had a clash because they did not really want me to provide services to poor black communities, and that became an issue when I became aware of Helen talking to the ANC to have a motion of no confidence. And but what it did, it gave birth to ActionSA. South Africans have now got an alternative political.
And we'll get to those issues of, the city of Tshwane, Nasiphi. I also am interested in your latest stance on the mayor of Johannesburg, Dada Morero. But also taking you prior to the elections, there are certain things that were said by you. The words like, you won't work with the ANC over my dead body, but now in certain, municipalities, you are working with the ANC.
Yeah, well, we're working with them in Tshwane.
Yes, in
Tshwane. Working so well.
Yes. I think the worry and the concern for some people, because remember, like you've also said, you regretted the decision of working with the DA. These are times, things are moving, politics are moving, there are no permanent friends or enemies in politics. But what do you say to a person who's watching you now to say, but I voted for Herman Mashaba because I thought you were going to unseat the ANC, you would never work with the ANC before. People were just questioning you and some of the decisions that you're going to make, which leads me to this question. You're working with the ANC in the city of Johannesburg.
No, I'm not working
No, I'm just coming, yeah. I'm coming to that. Before, but now there's this recent decision where you have said, as ActionSA, you have no confidence in Mayor Dada Morero, you've pulled out. What are the conversations that you're having with the ANC on this issue?
In the city of Johannesburg, 2 months into working with Dada Morero, I immediately brought my concerns to the ANC, national and provincial leadership. You're most welcome to talk to them anytime, to say, guys, we've got a problem here. Your mayor is not prepared to really listen. And unfortunately for us as ActionSA, we are not just voting cattle. We are ethical leaders. We are here to serve society. And fortunately ended up with us a few months ago completely pulling out because we don't want to be contaminated with things that are not really for South Africa. And we're glad we're out of this arrangement, but I share this with ANC leadership in this regard.
And we've seen a number of people putting up their hands up. Helen Zilla, you were once in the party in the DA, saying that should the DA win, she could lead Johannesburg as ActionSA. Who's your candidate?
To be honest with you, and I really mean it in true spirit, let come to Johannesburg.
Would you ever go back to Joburg? You were the former mayor of Johannesburg. Should ActionSA said go to Joburg?
No, ActionSA will announce our mayoral candidate when we are ready. Actually, I can share this with you. The first the mayoral candidate ActionSA will launch or will announce, it's Ikurulene. I found really another Nasipi Moya.
Can you tell our viewers here on SABC?
I'm going away overseas next weekend, and for just over 2 weeks, and I think I will, without any doubt, inform you on the press conference, because this particular individual is going to shock the country. It's someone rooted in our communities, someone, honestly, it's going to be another Nasipi Moyo. And then Johannesburg, give us the space, hopefully the latest we will announce our mayoral candidate for Johannesburg will be the end of February. But by February next year, at the latest, we will announce our mayoral candidate for Johannesburg.
And just shining the spotlight on Nasipi Moya, she has been lauded by some for doing a very good job in the city of Tshwane. But also some, like the DA and some other political parties, have raised a dissatisfaction over, let me perhaps highlight two things. The city manager, Johan Metla. What are your views as a party leader, ActionSA leader, over that? Also, the recent developments you've been seeing this week. She said that she'll begin repaying the 270,000 years. Yeah. She was overpaid during her time as an official in the city of Tshwane. And the DA is saying that they're going to monitor this issue very closely. What are your thoughts as a party leader? Have you engaged on the issue? Do you think that these are political attacks?
These are evil political attacks. I think if you look at the question of the city in the city of Tshwane working so well with the mayor and the entire political leadership, I think for us as ActionSA with the mayor, we see no reason whatsoever to really disrupt, because those who want the the city manager to be replaced at this last minute like this. Honestly, it would be totally irresponsible.
But is the mayor engaging political parties who are disgruntled about this?
Absolutely. We as a party, not even engaging Tshwane region. We engage the province. We engage ANC national leadership, and I think all of us are of the view that. If something is not broken, why to want to fix it? I think, honestly, the argument being advanced for his removal, it would be totally irresponsible. But then let me come to the issue of NACP. I think, honestly, this is unfair and a reflection of, honestly, whether people like it or not, of a racial attack on this woman, because she's doing such a fantastic work. I'm sure you saw her a press statement regarding how this whole matter of the overpayment happened. A group of them paid by the DA themselves, and then subsequent to that, before this matter was brought to the attention, she had already left the party. When she then went back to the city in 2024, she had discussions with the then mayor, Celia Brink, and Celia Brink never did anything about this particular matter until all of a sudden it comes out to him as if it's something new, as if NACP stole the money.
Mashaba, let me just come in there because I just need to squeeze in a couple of questions before we end off the interview because of the lack of time. But ActionSA, 5 years since its existence, you now have branches placed, you now have councillors. Everything seems to be in order. We now know what the ActionSA policies are, what you stand for. Why do you not have an elective conference as a party? I know before you said you won't be pushed into an elective conference, but it's time. People have been saying it's time now, don't you think?
You know what? The only people who are asking us to have a political conference are not ActionSA members.
So ActionSA members are still fine.
Oh no,
not going
because please look at our interim constitution. We made it clear that we are not going to really have an elective conference until such time that we have a minimum of 60% of the branches throughout the country. That it is in our.
But how long is it going to take? So you're telling me for 5 years, Mr. Mashaba, you couldn't.
Well,
you're going to the local government elections next year.
If I go into right now with the number of the branches that we've got, who do we invite? Some of the provinces we've not launched branches as yet. We're taking things one step at a time. I can tell you right now.
So how many steps are you going to take to get there?
Until such time that the party has got a minimum of 60 branches throughout the country. It is in our
So how many branches, for those who don't know, how many branches does ActionSA have now?
Well, I think we probably sitting at about between 25 and 30%. We still got a long way to go. And we are not going to be rushed. ActionSA members are not going to be rushed by anyone to really have a policy conference, elective conference, when we've got major issues to address. So I just really want to really make it clear that our focus is on building a political party that can one day become an alternative. So if anyone wants to ask us for an elective conference, he says, but join to be a member, then you can bring these issues to attention. Help us to really have,
so maybe for argument's sake, has nobody in the party raised that for 5 years you've been building branches, you've been building members, you've contested in 2 elections, one local, one national election. You're going to contest another local government election without going.
But then that person, if it's a member of our party, that means he joined without actually reading our constitution, because in our interim constitution we are clear to say the party will only have the elective conference once we've got 60% of the branches in the country. So if anyone expects us to really operate outside our constitutional framework, our constitution, that person must go and look for an alternative. I think ActionSA will have the conference as and when we are ready. Right now, our focus is on the upcoming local government elections. We are going to make sure that this time around, we are going to use a different kind of approach, which I can share with you. I've already shared with South Africa. We went on a strat session immediately after the elections. I think about 6 weeks or so ago, we went for another strat, 3-4 days strat session where we identified municipalities where we're going to contest. I'm telling you, municipalities where ActionSA is going to contest, no one is going to be able to govern without us. So we are not going to go out to overstretch ourselves. We are going to be strategic like we did in 2021. And I'm really personally excited about those, because we then go into government. Because to go into government, it's about service delivery. That's why we've adopted a new slogan called service deliverism. Because people are not looking for people who can make noise on the sidelines. People are looking for political parties that can deliver, like Nasipi Moya is doing.
You are still not interested in joining the GNU? You rather stay outside, observe, and hold the GNU to account?
Well, I think we made it clear on 2 occasions to the ANC. Immediately after the elections, actually they sent someone senior at my house to come and talk to me. And I made it really very clear that, look, you've got 70% of Parliament. What do you want us for? To neutralize us. I said, please leave us out. The DA is no longer out there as an opposition. We want to really be a constructive opposition, and I'm sure you are following parliamentary debates. We're not the political party like other oppositions where we just reject everything. Where parliament comes out with progressive policies, we will support. But where they come out with policies that we don't agree with, we are very, very vocal about it. And then we had a second round with the vet matter when they approached, when they were blackmailed by the DA to drop transformation agenda. When this matter came to my attention, I said, ANC, let's talk. And I was happy to talk to them, because the DA was saying to the ANC, we are happy to vote with you for the 2% vet, but we must drop transformation. I said, that is not going to happen under my watch. To drop transformation, I've been vocal. I've been against the current ANC triple BEE. That policy is really very bad, particularly for poor people, because the current ANC policy is there to benefit the cadres. But we cannot, because of the ANC triple BEE, we must drop the transformation. Our people today, black people, are poorer than they were ever before. The ANC government has failed them. So that's why we proposed at our policy conference, remember, we approved what we call inclusive economic empowerment. So the transformation of our economy to benefit black people, it's non-negotiable for us. It is for that reason we said to the ANC, we are happy to get you the numbers to reach a 50+1 so that you can pass your budget, and we gave them ideas on how it can be done.
Okay.
And then after they were happy with our proposal, they said, please come and join the GNU. We said, ANC, one thing at a time. We saying to you, as long as you've got 70% support in Parliament, you don't need us. We don't want to be neutralized. We don't want to really be silent. Okay. So I think I just want the ANC to really respect our decision outside.
And just briefly, 30 seconds, Mr. Mashaba, you saw the IEC's first disclosure or the IEC's reports on the 2025-2026 first quarter reports. This time around, 3 parties declared their donations. It was yourselves, the ANC, and the DA. I think the DA declared over 30 million rand.
Million.
Yes, 32 million rand. ANC 7 million, and then you donated again to the party. It is allowed though. But I just want to find out, the recent thresholds are now higher. It's doubled per limit, right? And the whole aim of the Political Party Funding Act was to ensure that there is transparency and accountability, but most importantly, to ensure that there's no capture of political parties by wealthy people, by businessmen. Now with the threshold, political parties now have to declare from 200,000 upwards to 30 million rand. Some people are really opposed to that, saying that it's a step back towards democracy. My Vote Counts had actually said that it's a step back towards democracy. As ActionSA, what do you have to say to this, and South Africans at large? And maybe,
You remember we as ActionSA are the ones who
went to court, yes.
We went to court and we won the case against the My Vote Count. Because, to be honest with you, what they were proposing was going to benefit big political parties and disadvantage smaller parties like us, where they would expect us to report up to 1 cent. If you donate 10 cents in our bank account, we must go and look for you. You know what it's going to administratively cost us to trace, because people deposit 10 rands or 20 rands into our bank without disclosing who they are. Now you can imagine administratively. Whereas big political parties like the DA, who today gets the biggest chunk of donations, and you know why they got the biggest chunk of that? Is to make sure that the status quo must remain. DA must always be relevant to continue with their propaganda and misinformation, and have the resources to go out and lie to.
But one would also argue that ActionSA also had, you look at the IEC's political party funding disclosure reports, you've also had some notable contributions from very wealthy businessmen.
Yeah, no, we do, but we are not against anyone getting money. But what I'm trying to say is, it's a question of, when people give you money, what do they expect in return from you?
Okay, Mr. Mashaba, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That, of course, was the leader of ActionSA, Mr. Herman Mashaba, just reflecting on the 5 years since the inception of, ActionSA. Also saying that, listen, the Moonshot Pact, getting to the Moonshot Pact was a regret, but also notably, lauding the party for its growth, not only at the polls, but in various communities with that merger with Forum of Service Delivery, saying moving forward, they'll soon be announcing their candidates in the various metros, starting with Ekurhuleni. In his own words, he says they have another Nasipi Moya, but it'd be interesting who ActionSA would be fielding for their mayoral candidate in Johannesburg, seeing that the elections would actually take place, or are expected to take place anytime between November of 2026 and January 2027.